there's a lot of shit you're not going to go for. There's a lot of shit you're not going to tolerate, and a lot of shit you're not going to put up with because you don't need to. You're literally doing everything for yourself and enjoying your life. Why would you lower the bar and lower your standards for someone to come in and start stressing you and adding chaos to your life? No, thank you.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend, and on today's episode, we have a video here from Man Guide. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Guys, I mean, seriously, can we please debunk this myth that a lot of women are going out on dates with men they're not even the slightest bit interested in just to get a free meal? Like, you guys really think we are that hard-pressed for a steak dinner that we're gonna fake the funk to hustle it out of you?
I can debunk this myth. You ready? Plenty of articles. Ready? No, that doesn't help. Let's try another one. That's no. Let's try another one. It's got a name to it. Let's try. Oh, it seems like right. How can I debunk this? Maybe TikTok will have some ideas.
Yeah, see, you can't debunk this because it's true. Okay, a lot of modern women, they still want men to be traditional. They still want men to take them out on dates. But let's be honest, a lot of them are just using men for these things. They're using men for free food. They're using men for free attention. So no, you cannot debunk that a lot of women are doing this because it's actually true and a lot of women are doing it.
My boyfriend and I were talking a little while ago about the concept of what a foodie call is, and he was like, what is a foodie call? And I was like, it's like a booty call, but for food.
So studies prove that 1 in 3 women go on dates just for food.
According to a new study, many women are choosing free meals over relationships. The study in the journal Social Psychology.
So my guy...
I'm trying to debunk this myth and it's not working. Oh, I know. I'm Matthew for Channel 4 News, and I am with one random person from the street named Becky, and we're going to ask her a question. Becky, do women use men for food dates? No. There we have it. One person's opinion is absolute fact. It does not happen. Complete myth. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio.
You know, this is obviously satire, but this is what happens a lot, right? A lot of these people, they think that their one personal experience changes the general thing of what's happening, right? Oh, no, foodie dates aren't a thing. Men aren't being used for food because I don't, simply because I say I don't. This is actually what happens in a lot of these instances where women are like, well, it doesn't work that way. You know, women aren't initiating most of the divorces because I haven't divorced my husband, right? And they think that their one individual case applies to, you know, a lot of women who are in fact out there doing these things.
Now we've debunked that myth, let's take a chain to Reality Town for a second. Fellas, there are women out there that will use you for a foodie date. I've got friends that actually brag about this. I know one person that's been on 5 dates in a week just to get her belly filled with food. Gets your mind out of the gutter. And this is why it's ideal for a man. If you're going to go out on a date with someone, take the lady on a coffee date. Make her a picnic. Go for a walk. See if that lady is going to invest time into you and not what they can get from you, because you might just turn into a one-night buffet stand.
Psst. If you're scrolling through TikTok right now, instead of doing something you're supposed to be doing, just add me as a friend.
Would you ever date a woman that's a nurse?
Nurses are known to be the biggest cheaters. They're sleeping with other nurses, men nurses, they're sleeping with the doctors. They love them some doctors. If your girl is a nurse and she has a hot doctor that she works with, chances are them late hours, they getting their freak on. He's hitting her on the side of the nursing bed while you waiting for her at home.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent, like me?
You know what I love? Oh my god. Sorry. I just love a good roast beef sandwich, especially Arby's.
I would say mentally I am not well. Physically, also no. Spiritually, no.
Oh,
Got your bitches. Notice how there's nothing in my hand? You lonely fucker.
Shout out to my ex! Because if we were still together, I wouldn't be living my best life. Listen, worldwide.
Whoa, why'd you do that? You're 11-year-olds, you're 80. They're alive.
If you couldn't hear what the kid said, he said, I'm 11 years old, you're 80, get a life. This just proves that modern women grow old, but they never grow up. You used to be able to reverse and respect the elders because they were respectable. Now, these feminists of the 60s who were bedwenches are the elders, and it's just going to get worse. The hag is lucky he didn't step on her leg, but these feminists are so entitled and used to having extra rights that any simple form of decency is an inconvenience to them. You also gotta ask, what type of person would pick on a kid? Someone who's super miserable. Someone who probably looks like a hag or a witch because she hit the wall too many times. A triple post wall, also known as a Grandma Karen. When the easy mode expires and they become invisible to most men, they go haywire and become the Grinch. Sadly, this won't be the last time a female does this kid wrong. Big salute to that kid for putting that old hag in her place.
Have you ever heard the expression, the longer I stay single, the more selective I become? This is a fucking fact. And the reason why is because the longer you stay single and genuinely enjoy your vibe, you know, up your standards, you're doing things to take care of yourself, you're living your life, you're actually loving life, that becomes your new standard, okay? There's a lot of shit you're not gonna go for, there's a lot of shit you're not gonna tolerate, and a lot of shit you're not gonna put up with because you don't need to. You're literally doing everything for yourself and enjoying your life. Why would you lower the bar and lower your standards for someone to come in and start stressing you and adding chaos to your life? No, thank you.
I absolutely love these videos where you'll have a woman sit here and try and talk to you about how her standards are so damn high, but at the same time, the man who doesn't have to take her out on a date, who doesn't have to do anything, who's attractive, she will have a one-night stand with that random guy who's apparently an a-hole, right? As women go into their 30s, guys, what they try and do is they try and convince you, oh, I'm not going to put up with any of the nonsense anymore. I've had my bad boy phase, but they never actually grow out of it. They still see these men. They still chase these men. They're just looking for their provider husband that they can use for money and resources because they know their worth now. It's absolutely ridiculous, guys. These women who say that they've upped their standards and they know what they're worth, none of these women are worth dating, and they, ironically enough, are the headache and the stress that they are talking about.
Attractive women in America have the best of both worlds when it comes to being quote-unquote single. They have the emotional support from gay men or men in the friend zone, the loyalty from a great guy, the financial support from the simps, while having their back blown out by Chad and Tyrone. So as they get older, they look for a man who has all of those qualities that they're getting from a group of men. They look for that mythical unicorn, a loyal alpha male who's also rich and can dance better than a gay man. Top comment says, until you're 60 and get sick. It doesn't even have to be when she turns 60. When she turns 35, maybe even 30 since it doesn't look like she works out. A dude comments, I am more afraid of picking the wrong person than being single. And the entitled female in the video responds, this is everything. That's where she gets it wrong, thinking male relationship goals applies to her. She doesn't have all the time in the world. The clock is ticking. The longer she waits, the less desirable she becomes. I know she thinks she has all the time in the world in her mid-20s, especially when she has so many options to sleep around. But her standards should have been sky high when she was a virgin, and only give it up to a man that really loves her by marrying her. But she lived that SCX in the city lifestyle, so she's not tameable at this point. Men have time to pick because they need to build value and figure things out.
And you know what, guys? I actually encourage these women to have their standards and to stay single and to live that queen life. And the reason why is because when they hit 30, when they hit 40, they just become fantastic content for the channel, right? Because they become cat ladies who are bitter and they don't like men And it just makes for absolutely hilarious content because it's entirely their fault. They could have had their Prince Charming, they could have had their relationship, but they decide to screw around and only settle for the best. But the problem is the best does not ever want them.
They need to know how to be competent in many aspects of life in order to be the provider, protector, and leader of the household. Her so-called standards, also known as entitlements, are just a coping mechanism by now just to avoid the reality that she's a leftover woman. That no one of quality wanted her. This is how she can sleep at night, by blaming men for being dusty or liars so she doesn't have to use a cocktail of drugs to make herself numb to the truth. The most liked comment at 20,000 likes says, "Learning to love being alone is a dangerous freedom." I'm willing to bet they're still being banged out by the top 10% men while they claim to be quote-unquote love to be alone. It's a mirage that they're alone right now because they're getting fast male attention. But when that stops, like when they hit the wall, they'll get dick withdrawals. Women aren't built for being alone. That's why post-walls are super miserable. No amount of cats, wine, or even success can replace the love from a man they truly respect. They can pretend they're as happy as can be, but behind closed doors, they're crying themselves to sleep every night.
I'll also probably add family to this list because a lot of the women who get to this particular age and they don't have a family, they kind of regret it, right? They end up making videos of themselves crying. There'll be like 90 videos of themselves trying to convince other people they're happy and showing off their lifestyle that nobody envies on Instagram. But then there'll be that one video in there where she'll be crying and she'll be like, you know, some days get tough and I just wish I had kids or something, or I screwed up, or I left my husband, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there are these sorts of videos that are snuck in because while they try and convince everybody that they're happy, a lot of the times they're just straight up not, because they missed their chance to have a family. Now, not every woman wants to have a family. I'm not saying that they have to have a family, but a lot of women do end up regretting it because they can't have a family past a certain age. Even if you try and freeze your eggs and all of this crap, a lot of the times it doesn't even work.
This is the so-called strong and independent woman when no one's around. If you can't read the text, it says, "Me when I broke up with him and regretted it the moment I did it." The crazy thing is that she looks so young, yet she's getting emotionally wrecked by being used. She has at least 60 years of this.
What is one thing that you've never told your ex?
Our trainer. Like, I had a trainer and he was training me for a while. Like, I met him at my apartments. Like, we were both doing laundry at the same time, and he like propositioned me one day. He was like, "Can I give you a massage because you're so tired from training, right?" And I was like, "Okay," but you ended up, and it was like at me and my ex's house. So that's really f***ed up, you know? But like, yeah, I used to and I for like a year.
A year?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one when he sees this. But yeah, for like a year, and I even when I moved, he like came to see me. So yeah, we for like a year.
So your ex had no idea you were cheating on him?
I wasn't cheating. Like, we had an open relationship and then we broke up. So it's like through the open relationship part, but he didn't know that I was him. I wasn't supposed to any of our friends or anybody that we both knew.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
So that was the bad part.
How do you think he would feel?
Really upset. He'd be really upset. I feel like he'd be sad, but like he's done too. So I'll just be like, hey, like, remember that? Like, this is that. It's the same thing.
Isn't it funny how this woman literally has an open relationship, which let's cut the crap here. Open relationships aren't real relationships. people that have open relationships are clowns, in my opinion. Particularly the ones that have marriages that are open marriages. But anyway, this woman has an open relationship and she can't even get that right. There's like half a rule and she can't even get that one damn rule right. That is absolutely crazy.
Was he better at being a personal trainer or better at?
Better. He's a horrible trainer.
Horrible trainer. Okay. All right.
She belongs to the streets.
And that's why you don't hire male trainers for your significant other, because a lot of these trainers are basically gigolos. You heard it from herself. He sucked as a trainer. But there are plenty of rich lonely post-walls that will hire him because it provides them cover of having a male hooker over, or as a so-called trainer. These trainers are in peak shape, so of course they'll get the attention of most women, and you can too if you hit the gym. Back to the video, she had an open relationship and still managed to cheat. You can't make this shit up, as Kevin Samuels used to say. At least the guy she lived with cut his losses and moved on because she clearly doesn't respect him and she's clearly a bottom of the barrel female.
Alright, not going to lie, I was really feeling myself yesterday, so then I decided to make a Tinder profile and seek validation from men who I don't know, and then I asked somebody out to go get drinks with me. It worked out, I guess. It was time to get dolled up, but honestly, it was for myself, and then my highlighter decided to yeet. I started getting overwhelmed while I was getting ready, so I did some breathing exercises to calm myself down. My hair is at the point where my bangs are a little too long to be fringe bangs, and I don't quite know how to style it. I'm really not too sure what look I want to go for anymore, but I think this works out. I don't know. I decided to wear a graphic tee out and just tie it up, and this asymmetrical skirt that I was super nervous to wear because, yep, fit check, my football is showing. I haven't worn these boots since living in Boston and I'm excited to take them out again, and this is what I look like without the jacket. Alright, bye-bye.
In the video description, she wrote, "Damn, I'm 30 and single again, y'all." You don't say. Who would have thought this female who has Eater in her profile name would still be single at 30? And this just goes to prove that females live life on easy mode. If you look at her pics on her dating app that she showed of herself, she was kinda catfishing them because she was using the most flattering angle as possible to hide her beer gut. Because in the video, when she was putting on makeup, not even the baggy clothes and the robe are able to hide it. Her face is kinda cute, and it's sad because if she was serious about her looks and got healthy, like lost all of her weight, she'd probably look good, judging by her face.
The crazy thing about these videos that always gets me is like you will have someone like this who spends so much time recording TikTok videos and content for TikTok and going out on dates and all of this stuff, but they can't spend a fraction of their own time just looking after their own body. Okay, a lot of these people, you don't even have to spend time to become a healthier individual. You just have to spend less time in the kitchen or less time getting fast food. Okay, but it's amazing, right? How you'll have people record full-blown videos of themselves getting ready to go and see a random guy, but they won't actually put any effort into their actual health. And you'll have people like this say, well, that's not true. I put effort into my health. No, you don't. Okay, get the hell out of here. I'm so sick of seeing these videos, guys, where people talk all about self-love and I do this for me and I do that for me, but they won't even do the bare minimum for themselves, which is actually take care of the one body that they have.
But because she got conned by feminism and the body positivity movement, she chose a glutton lifestyle which won't just shorten her life, but keep her single for the rest of her life. Top comment says, "I decided to make a Tinder profile and seek validation from men I don't know. Girls, same, but you looked gorgeous." Over 60,000 women co-signed that comment with a like. This just vindicates the red pill and MGTOW.
That is crazy. So this comment, right? Someone commented that she's beautiful and she looks great. What is this? You looked gorgeous. And this woman also admitted to seeking validation from random dudes on the internet. Wow, can't wait to wipe that up. But this comment said she looked beautiful, and it had 60,000 likes on it. 60,000 women decided to lie to this woman. That is crazy, guys. It is crazy how ridiculous some of this is. You can be validated as a woman for absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
These females use social media and dating apps for validation. And no, she doesn't look gorgeous. Even with her camera angles, she managed to look below mid. This is another reason why these overweight females don't change their life for the better, because their friends and other females on social media white lie to them and gas them up. You always see that one land whale in the friend group who cock blocks you from talking to her hot friends. I guess these females want her to stay big so she can continue being their personal bodyguard. And I'm willing to bet many of the 60,000 plus females who liked this comment has told an overweight man he was ugly. It's body positivity for the feminists only. Another comment gassing her up. Your confidence and self-awareness are super attractive. On a side note, you have the cutest nose. This isn't confidence but delusion. Confidence in womanese means acting like an HOE. Women aren't supposed to be quote-unquote confident. That's a masculine trait for men. They continue to confuse what they want in a man with what they think men want. Men don't want a confident woman. They want a reserved, modest, and pure woman. Confidence means she's entitled and a headache as well. Another commenter said, I had a smile on my face until I heard what the dude did. And someone responded, what did he do? I was really rooting for that date to be amazing. The commenter responded, check top. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm willing to bet that reality hit her in the face. These females can gas up each other all they want with body positivity and lies, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they think, but what a man they respect thinks.
This story just took a crazy turn. Remember the punt god from San Diego State who was drafted by the Bills and punted the ball 82 yards in a preseason game? Well, for reasons I can't say here on TikTok, Matt Araiza was released from the Bills after certain accusations about him at a college party came out last August. I outlined the full scope and timeline of these allegations in the newsletter I dropped today, linked in my bio. Now, at the time, these accusations involving Araiza and two of his college teammates were so disturbing that the Bills released him after taking him in the 6th round that same year, before he ever had the chance to take a regular season snap. But now it's come out that these accusations that destroyed Araiza's career were completely false. Now, before we go any further here, I want to echo a sentiment shared by fellow creator Bladen Kirk and say that we should always err on the side of victims in cases like this, as to not discourage other victims from sharing their story. But
I do not think that we should always be on the side of the victim, quote unquote victim, because how many of these victims are not actually victims? Okay? These people have it completely backwards, okay? It is innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. If these people want to live in a society where it's guilty until proven innocent, hey, be my guest, but go away, right? This is so disturbing that people think that this is appropriate. And let's be honest, okay? There are so many situations of these women lying about these things. Oh, this man did this man did that, blah, blah, blah. But we have to, what, side with them because they say that they are the victim? No, I'm sorry, that doesn't cut it. It really doesn't. Unless you have proof, right, or it's proven in the court of law, I don't want to hear it. And when I say proof, I don't just mean random edited screenshots, okay? I mean actual physical proof, like, you know, something serious, none of this nonsense. But you have these women making these accusations, and we're supposed to just believe them because they're women, because they're a woman, or because the alleged crime is so serious. It's the other way around. Because the crime that's alleged is so serious, you don't believe them until there's proof. These people are clowns, man. Absolute clowns.
in this case, it's come out that Araiza wasn't even at the party at the time that the once alleged incident took place, which
oh, wow. You know, hey, at least we sided with the woman to begin with, right? Get out of here.
Leaves us with just one question. Is Matt Araiza's career still over? Well, his attorney says that several teams have been in contact with the once highly touted punting prospect, but as of right now, Araiza remains unsigned. But if the NFL has shown us anything, it's that they don't have a problem signing people who have actually been convicted of crimes, so I'm sure Araiza will find his way back on our roster sometime soon.
So despite that broad lying, this simp who any thought and wouldn't even pee on him if he was on fire is still white knighting for these Decepticons. What happened to innocent till proven guilty? That's just one of the many reasons why these modern women can do anything they want. Simps supercharge these bedwenches. Here's a better reporting of it. I salute this king for standing up to men online. And just notice he doesn't look like a beta male, unlike the last wimp.
We need to talk about why the person that falsely accused Matt Araiza for what he did last year is not getting anywhere near the treatment that he got just a short year ago. Now, we all know the story, we all know the allegations, but this kid literally got cut from the Buffalo Bills after the story came out. Months later, we heard that no criminal charges were being prosecuted on the guy, and it wasn't until yesterday when we heard exactly why no criminal or civil charges were going to be placed. Why, you might ask? Because he wasn't even there. He was not even there. This was according to Discovery. He was gone by 12:30 a.m. before the alleged incident happened. Number two, this girl lied about her age. And apparently in the state of California, as long as it's objectively reasonable to believe the liar, then there's no malice toward it. But that's beyond the case. It's still disgusting.
That's crazy. So let me get this straight. The woman lied about her age, but as long as the lie is believable, then the lie is fine. And this is in California, he said. What is going on in California, man? What kind of law is that? If the lie is believable, then we don't punish the lie. That is some crazy lawmaking right there. Almost reminds me of the Australian government, to be honest with you.
But this is even where it gets saucier right here. It looks like the blank was more so consensual. So you know what that means? Ladies and gents, that essentially means that the liar, that's what I'm going to call her from now on, was a part of a movie that she was ashamed of. Completely consensual, and she decides that, hey, I'm going to ruin this one guy's life so I can get some attention and a little bit of clout. Look, I do want to go out and say that, say for example that this turned out to be the opposite, then I want that guy to be nailed to a stake. But where I have an issue is that these false accusers just get completely let off. Matt Araiza lost his career, lost his reputation, and he is never going to recover. Just look at Sean Oakman, same thing. Absolute nonsense.
Didn't I just say these 304s will lie to save face from their HOE actions? This is why the red pill is so important to young men.
And this is exactly why, as well, a lot of men straight up avoid relationships or they avoid interaction with women, right? I know it's become like this meme, guys, but truly a lot of guys, they're not interested in helping out women. They're not interested in the chivalry. Okay, I'm going to bring up an example of the gym, right? A lot of guys won't help women at the gym. They won't talk to women at the gym. You fail your rep, hey, good luck to you, right? I've heard like streamers and YouTubers bring up the fact that, oh, you know, men would jump in. Yeah, of course we would, guys. We don't care if there's like we're being recorded while we do it or whatever. No, I actually think a lot of guys are really not interested in helping. They're not interested in risking themselves to go out here and to interact with women. Like straight up. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.